Good. What's going on? Finally, bro. All right. So, how you been though? How you been? It's been a minute since I seen you last.
I've been good. I mean, this Texas heat has been crazy, of course. We're up to, I think, like already right now, we're at least at 100 degrees. So there's that.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, it's hot here too in Florida, but we have like the humid heat. I don't know if you
Yeah.
feel it. Yeah, so we got like that desert heat for sure. How you been holding up? Obviously this world is going crazy with all this Black Lives Matter, police brutality stuff. What's
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on it and stuff from everything that's been going on?
Um, my thoughts, I just have so many thoughts, and it's like I try to read every article that I can and, listen to podcasts and try to learn as much as I can about everything.
Right.
And God, it's crazy, but I think that like it's time. Like that was like the last straw, George Floyd's death, obviously. And I think like everything that's going on, like I definitely support it. I mean, like I was reading this one article and it was like everybody wants a peaceful protest, but when activists or like Colin Kaepernick, when he tried to peacefully protest, he was thrown out of the league. So it's like for years this has been going on and people have been trying to, peacefully protest and push and, get the right things going and nobody listens. So it's like I feel like what's going on right now, like the protest, I feel like they're needed now. Like they're needed to finally like have everybody's voices be heard. The looting, I guess, like the vandalism, I still can't wrap my mind around that one. But I don't know if you follow. I think it was Tory Lanez. Maybe he posted something and he
Sorry?
said, I think it was Tory Lanez. I could be wrong, but he posted something that said there's two type of people. Like there's one person that's out there protesting for what's right, for what's good, trying to have their voice heard, and then there's opportunists who are out there, trying to just cause chaos and steal from businesses that aren't even out there to protest. They're just there to, take advantage of the fact that, oh, they can finally break into somewhere and steal something. So yeah, I do believe that there's two different type of people at protests. I believe the people that are there to be heard. I mean, I think they're there for a good reason. And I feel like the other people that are there to just loot and like steal out of businesses that have nothing to do with Black Lives Matter movement, I feel like that's just something I can't wrap my mind around. But
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I think that, I'm not for the looting or like, burning down our city and stuff like that. But the
right.
fact that the thing that I don't like myself is peaceful protesters, and they're still, and we got the worst leader in the world, but we got Trump sending military people to still shoot people. Not knowing
Exactly.
that there are some that are quality that are actually, I'm saying like they're going out there to peacefully protest. I've always been against police brutality. I don't even like police, period. I have a
Yeah.
story to share too, but I'll share that to you off air. But yeah, I've never been a fan of police just because I think sometimes they feel they're protected by the book with that badge that they have. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Exactly.
they'll
Yeah.
get away with anything. So I think all lives matter, but you can't say all lives matter without having blacks in it. And it's not just black people, you being a Latina too, we're all part of minority groups, the Asians, the not Caucasians, the Asian descents, the European backgrounds, the Latinos. So we're all, minority groups. And I feel that all this division and this friction that we have, we need to unite as one to educate,
Exactly.
Caucasian and white people about these things. So.
Exactly. And it's so funny because it's like you think you know who like your friends are. And it's like, honestly, since this has all happened, I've definitely lost a lot of friends because it's like there's, like you said, it's like we're minorities. So it's like if you don't believe in the protests and everything that's going on, like I'm a minority as well. So it's like at that point there's a disconnect because it's like, so if that doesn't matter to you, so then my life doesn't matter.
Right.
Like if everything's going on, like I've had people like, oh, like I still think support's like a good like leader, and it's like, okay, like he's not, like look at what he's doing to this world. And if you think that, we probably shouldn't be friends. So it's crazy to see like everything that it's like revealing about so many other things.
Yeah, that's true. Like, you know what I'm saying? People's real colors come out. And my mom always told me that when you see people's color come out, don't try to put your brush and try to paint over it. You know, you gotta,
Yeah,
you gotta let it go. I know you're gonna use that for a caption, so
I am.
credit me for that.
That was a good one, but it's like the person that I am. I think when people show me their true colors, I try to see the good in them still. But
Right.
yeah, my mom, like, same thing. She's like, no, when people show you who they are, you need to listen.
Yeah.
And it's revealed a lot about a lot of different people who, you know, I never expected, because I never talked really politics. Like, and I'll take the blame. Like, I don't vote. I've just never educated myself enough to, you know, pick one person over the other. So I don't vote. So it's like, I've never had the like political talk with any of my friends, but it's like now seeing how they really feel, it's like, okay, well, there's a disconnect there, and we're
Yeah,
good.
and that was the big thing too. I think on my private page, I do have a private page. People don't know that, but I posted something that I think Trump won Florida by like 379 votes, and just like Miami County alone, people didn't vote. People didn't vote. I'm like, how you gonna talk, but you ain't the one that vote? Oh, bro, you know I ain't in politics. I'm like, it's people like you that why we have Trump in office right now. So I
know
think,
that's why I said, I was like, I'll take the blame, because I was having this conversation with my dad, and he was like, you're mad at what's going on in the world, like you want to go protest, but he's like, if you don't vote, you really have nothing to say. Your voice really like isn't heard essentially in that way, because you're aiding towards the problem if you don't vote. So I was like, this is the first year I will, you know, probably.
Yeah, you better vote. You better vote. You have to. We got to get, try to get President Trump off office here for sure. But yeah, I'm the same too. I don't really get into politics, but when it comes to, you know, the human race, and especially oppression against blacks or any minority group for that case, that's where I think that, you know, us millennials have to have our voices heard. But we're not here to talk politics. So obviously you have a prestigious role being with the Houston Rockets. So pleasure to have you on there with us. So the NBA season's coming back. They're coming to my hometown. So
I know.
I got my press pass, so I'll be covering some of the games down in Orlando by Walt Disney area. So that's fun. But are you coming or no?
So right now I'm still trying to work that out with my network. I think because I don't work for the biggest network, I don't know if I'll be able to. Also, I mean, that's a lot of time away, a lot of money, you know, so we're just trying to work out all of that. So right now, I don't know. Hopefully, but I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Big experience. Although, why they not doing it at the Amway Center instead of, that's where the Magic play, the Amway Center?
Yeah.
I'm like, why are they doing it at the Amway Center? They're doing it ESPN Wild Water Sports, but whatever. So
yeah, I don't know.
That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you about some stuff about the Rockets here for sure. So tell us some of your you know, tell us what you do with your role, being with a Rockets reporter, a contributor to the beat writing as well, and some stuff that you do in the locker room. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm like an on-camera correspondent for Playmakers. I guess technically my role would be called like beat writer. I don't know, beat reporter. I don't know, but I do a lot of on-camera work, a lot of interviews, a lot of articles. I write for House of Houston. Yeah, just a lot of reporting, a lot of researching, of course. Articles. I think my favorite is obviously on camera, but I haven't, you know, got up the courage to do a one-on-one with the player yet. So it's usually a lot of press conferences, asking questions that way, like my pregame predictions, stuff like that. I think I love being on camera once I get over the nerves of it all, but then I also really like writing for House of Houston. I have a really good editor. They teach me a lot along the way. So really, yeah, just a beat writer, beat reporter, just trying to take in everything I can at this point.
Yeah, obviously, for sure. I've seen some of the clips that pregame, you know, you're like, hi, this is Andrea. No.
I know, and it's like I
Right,
hate
right.
when people like will see me on camera and then they'll like send it to me, and it's like, oh, like still I can't get over the fact like hearing yourself on camera. I still am not over that yet. So it's
Yeah.
still very weird to hear myself on camera.
Yeah, 100%. So being in the locker room, what are some of the finest moments you have? Because I always ask, especially, you know, no disrespect, but women that are in sports, that it could be overwhelming, but it can also be a transcending thing to a broader platform, so other women can be in sport. Because I've always been an advocate. Like, I think there should be more female in sports. Like, it's male dominated for sure, but being in a locker room with all these guys, like how does that feel?
Yeah, you're totally right. Being in the locker room just in itself is so overwhelming because it's like you go from seeing these guys, on TV, you know, social media, all of that, and then now it's like, oh, they're right in front of me. So I mean, me, myself, I don't know if other people do it. I had to like definitely get over that like fangirl because I'm obviously a big fan of sports. So seeing them right in front of me, and it's like you go into the home locker room and you get to go into the visitor locker room. So it's like you're seeing all these players.
All these.
Every player you ever watched or like idolized, now they're right in front of you, and it's like, wow, this is a big deal. But being a woman, it's definitely, I mean, I wouldn't say challenging. It's definitely different, especially like the group of reporters that I work around. It's probably 3 women to probably 10 men. So it's very small amount of women that I work around, but I'm thankful for the people that I do work around because they're so supportive of me. And the guys, even like, I've never felt like, oh, like a girl reporter, so we're not gonna, uh, respect you. If I ever want to, ask questions, like they're always open to ask, or for me to ask questions. Yeah, it's just like a real crazy experience. Like sometimes I don't even believe that, I'm there. Like, pinch me, like this must be a dream kind of thing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, who's like the funny guy in the locker room, that the guy that you always like to interact with, whether that be like in the locker room, press conference, things like that? Is there like maybe one person or like a few individual or some guys that you like?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I stay in the locker room to get the interviews, to get my questions out, and then I really don't hang around like a lot of other reporters to, do because, okay, so when the game is done, first of all, it depends on if they lost, like what happens. So, the tension in the locker room is going to be carried over from the game. So, there's, I mean, some funny guys, of course. I think Russ is real funny with, the reporters. You can never ask him a dumb question because he'll definitely call you out. James is really, really serious, always, straight to the point, but always like really kind, I feel. Yeah, most of the time the guys just, do it. They have to do, change, get ready, leave. Really, we don't. I don't spend enough time in there to, find the class clowns of them.
Yeah, I've heard stories like it's PJ Tucker and Austin Rivers. Those cats, they're quite funny. He's got that
Yeah.
shoe down on pack too, by the way. But
Huh?
I said that Tucker's really got his shoe game down on pack too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I've
does.
heard
You
that
should see his
he's a
locker
bit of a
room.
character, and Austin too, right?
Yeah, I would say Austin's more like probably more down to earth. I don't know if it's because we're closer in age, but yeah, I feel like he's very down to earth and probably more approachable to me than the other guys. I don't know. But
Right.
yeah, he's definitely always happy, always has a smile on his face, regardless. Whereas some of the other guys, they're not as, outgoing or as happy, or at least they don't show it on their face, So I would say, yeah, Austin and PJ to me is very intimidating. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of his shoe game. So it's like I'm trying to, because I mean, he's obviously like the king of sneakers, So I think, in a sense, my like sneakerhead fangirl is still turned on. Like when I see him, so I'm like, damn. Like not only is he in the NBA, but this is the sneaker king, like right in front of me. So I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
just
He
intimidating.
looks intimidating too, because like for such a because I think he plays the 4 and a 5 now for the team. But he's
Yeah.
a small guy. Like he's like low center of gravity. He's built, and then you
Yes.
come and corner him, and like he's not gonna put up with just anything. And then he's got that look, that demeanor, like okay, like he about his business type thing. So I can see
exactly. Yes, he definitely does have like that very like big like male presence, and it's definitely felt. So I don't really ask him too many questions.
I don't blame you either. That's not somebody on the court I'd want to have smoke with too, PJ
Right.
Tucker, but definitely a huge player for us, especially what they do on their team. Who's bigger in Houston? You got Jose Altuve, you've got Deshaun Watson now, James Harden, JJ Watt. All these guys are a big team. Houston came from nowhere, like from a terrible sports city to now just they're pretty good at almost everything. So who's the man in H-Town?
I don't know. That one is so hard because it's like if you're a baseball fan, obviously like the baseball guys are going to be to you, but I think it comes down to James and JJ. I would definitely have to say JJ probably because, I feel like JJ, how he is, he's very like a very respected man in Houston, very, family oriented, very approachable, very kind, always giving back to the community. I would say James is probably more, well known. Probably people will probably, try to go to him to take pictures, but I think the kind of respectable asset kind of goes to JJ in that sense.
Right. Yeah. Plus, I've heard the stories about James being on a strip club with Travis Scott and Beyonce.
I was scrolling through Instagram the other day, and I don't remember who posted it, or if it's true. You can't really believe everything that you see, but it's like one of the strip clubs in Houston hung like James Harden jersey after he went and spent like thousands of dollars. So I was like, oh yeah, not really the family man type of.
Nah, I believe it. I believe it though. I believe it because I be seeing a lot of stuff with him in the club or with like pop culture artists, celebrities. So I believe it. I believe it for sure.
But he does bring a lot of people to the city. He has that JH Town weekend, and it's like the celebrity basketball game. Like he does bring a lot of people to the city, but he has more of like a, I guess, club demeanor, like party kind of demeanor. But still good man. Both of them, all of them, really, really good men.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody like to turn up. I like to turn up too. So when I get time, of course. I don't have time like that. So, but let's talk about the Rockets here. So under D'Antoni, they've been great regular season teams. Very great. I don't know why I'm hearing these things that D'Antoni should get booted. Like I feel like that's disrespectful. He's a Hall of Fame coach. What he's done with the Suns, the Knicks. So, but I guess you are, your legacy says by championships. So there's always been this narrative that the Rockets come short in the playoffs under D'Antoni. Now, do you think it's coaching or do you think it's James having failures in the playoffs? What's really the reason why the Rockets haven't gone over the hump?
Like, honestly, I don't know. And I don't know if it's because I came into the game so, like, late with D'Antoni. But I think he's an amazing coach. And I feel like right now they finally have all the puzzle pieces together. So, I don't know if it's because I just don't really know all that about Mike. But I feel like he's a really good coach. I feel like he's done so much for the team. And now, you can only do so much if you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. He's an amazing coach, and I feel like finally they have all the pieces to the puzzle to work. So with that being said, I don't know why. I would like to know why people think that he's such a bad coach. But I think right now, under D'Antoni, they definitely have a good shot at the championship.
Yeah, I would agree too. I always thought, though, when CP got hurt, they were up 3-2. And Chris Paul got hurt. I thought that was their best chance. They were up 3-2, and then the rest. Golden State wins in 7. But I always thought, if CP was healthy, they would have won that series. So that might have been James's best chance and D'Antoni's best chance at a title opportunity. But what do you think? Do you think that Chris is better with James, or do you think Russell's better with James? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. And I feel like, obviously, when you look at the past, James and Russ, I feel like in the past, if we were to take before this season, don't include this season, just include the past seasons, I think probably James and CP, but seeing Russ and James, I feel like this is like a new dynamic this season. I feel like they're working really well. So I would say 2019, 2020, James and Russ.
Right, for sure. Especially that, they're AAU teams. They played in high school together.
Right, yeah.
So they're like best of friends. So probably one of the reasons why Russell came to Houston from OKC. So that too. But what about the chemistry on the court? How does Russ know? Okay, he's cooking tonight. Let me give the ball to James. Or okay, I understand that it's Russ time and he's dominating tonight. So how do they feed off each other on the court?
I think at the very beginning, it was definitely difficult because, like, you take two very ball-dominant players and you try to put them together to mesh well, and it's like both of them are trying to, do as best as they can, both show out essentially. So I think they knocked a lot of heads there, and then Russ, of course, took off, had all those games, 30-plus points, triple-doubles. And then finally, James kind of took off. So I think the chemistry is before the virus, of course, I think it's working really well right now for them. I think they both kind of got into their heads and was like, you know what, like we're both, real essential parts of this team. And if we both work together, we can have a championship. So I think right now, I keep saying right now, but before the virus, I think that their chemistry was really good on the court because like I said, the first part of the season, it was rough. It was rough for them to try to, give that kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say title, but I guess like permissions, like on the court, like, oh yeah, he's going off. So let me, let him have his night. At the beginning, it wasn't none of that. It was like, I'm going to have my night. Like you're going to try to do you. So I think right now it's a lot of good chemistry on the court. So I'm excited to see them come back.
Yeah. What I've noticed is early on in the season, it was James. Like James was cooking. We all know like James is putting all these crazy numbers. And then after that, the second half of the season, it seemed like, I don't know, in a way, James took a back seat and Russell started dominating. He's scoring a lot of points and stuff. So I think that moving forward, that might be a good thing because sometimes James gets like gassed going into the postseason because he's doing so much in the regular season and going into the postseason, whereas Westbrook is throughout his career, he's always had that energy. He's always had that energy. So I think if you put the shoulders and the load on Russ, now carrying the load, scoring, playing defense, facilitating, and having maybe James pop off in the fourth quarter, I think that could bode well for the Rockets too, especially with this layoff because, James spends a lot of minutes on the court. So this layoff can help both of them as like more aging players too.
Yeah, I think having both of them definitely gives them, like you said, time off because both of them are so used to, being the ones that the whole team goes to. So now it's like they have two people to depend on. And it's like you put Russ out there and then you put James, give them time to rest. Now they're both good, like regardless. Oh, sorry.
Right, yeah, I agree with you too. Anytime you have two former MVPs, you always got to at any game or to contend in anything at any season for a title for sure. Sometimes I think people take James Harden for granted. They see 25, 40, they see 35, 50, 50, 40, 40. I think he had a streak of 30-plus games. I think only, what's his name, Wilt Chamberlain compared to that. So I think it's routine now. People tend to see, okay, James doing this every night, so he'll be all right. We got to see what he does in postseason. But we take it for granted what he does because it ain't easy what he's doing. So talk to us about that, like being a reporter outside of a fan. How does it feel to see that live in action? Because you mentioned that it's art to you. Yeah.
No, definitely watching it as a fan on TV and then actually being there, it's completely different. And, like you said, people do take for granted the fact that James provides every game. And it's like he'll play a game and he'll silently get 30. And it's like, whoa, how do you get all those points? And then it's like, oh, that's just James. He has to do that. That's what he always does. It's crazy. And it's like, they make it look really easy. But actually being there in the action, it's like you see that like this stuff is not easy, and they really do put in work. And Russ, his energy when like obviously like you see on TV, but his energy when you're there, it's like if you have not seen Russ play live, like you need to see him. His energy is crazy. And I guess just like being live, you really see that these guys are really putting in work day in, day out. It's not just, something you watch on TV. They're really working, busting their butts. They're really working out there, and it's just crazy to see. And it's like really just like an art form, They work so hard but make it look so effortless.
Yeah, I actually got a chance to see Russ play live. He scored like 50-point triple-double when he was in OKC in Orlando. So,
yeah.
But just his energy, his relentlessness to get to the basket and not lose. I think that mentality he brought to Houston, whereas I'm not saying Chris Paul didn't have that winning attitude too, but you see every night, Russell Westbrook never takes possessions off. He's always busting his butt, always trying to make sure that he gets loose balls. Whether he's playing defense, where he's getting rebounds. So I love that attitude, and that's what he's brought to the Rockets. And maybe that's an edge that they've missed, not being able to get over the hump too.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Russ definitely brought that energy to Houston, and I think it's what they needed. They needed a fire under their ass. Every possession, it's Russ down the court, down the court, down the court. And at the beginning, it was like it was only Russ. And now, as the season progresses, it's like the whole team is finally caught on to like, damn, we need this type of energy to win, to get championships. So yeah, I'm really thankful that Russ, brought that energy, because before him, I mean, CP did bring energy, but it's not like you said, Russ. Like I think Russ is defined like relentless. Like that's how you can define him, because no matter what, he's going to bring the same energy day in, day out, regardless of, what happened last game, what happened last night. It's always going to be the same energy, and he pushes the guys to have the same energy.
Right. Small ball, that's the thing. So D'Antoni, he's like Taco Bell, always thinking outside the box, right? He says that everybody's playing with bigs, so we're going to go unconventional.
Right.
We're going to play 5 out, put Tucker at the 5 and space the flow out so Westbrook and Harden can have more room to operate, which is smart. Talk to us about that and maybe some of the strengths that the Rockets can use, and maybe some of the weaknesses if you're going against the Lakers or the Clippers that have bigs, or maybe Denver or even Portland. Talk to us about the contrast between the two.
Yeah, well, I mean, seeing them play with the small ball lineup is definitely crazy. When they were first talking about it, I was like, no, there's no way they're going to get rid of all of their bigs, And then they traded Clint, and I was like, wow, Mike's really going for it. Okay. And at first I was like, there's no way, we go up against like huge guys, and in our conference it's huge, like good forwards, So I think the small ball lineup works really well for the Rockets. Of course, like I said, their energy now. So not only are they up and down the court fast, they're scrappy now. So where they would have used a big to, tire out a guy, now they're using their energy, moving the ball fast. I love their ball movement now. Just, getting into teams' head, because they're not used to, not having a big to defend, like to have them defend. But yeah, I think really just dominating this small ball lineup, just basically making teams, more tired than they're used to. So yeah, I'm excited to see it continue to, live out and see how it works still.
Does it worry you though if they playing maybe Lakers or Portland or maybe a team even the Mavericks? They got bigs.
Yes, that does worry me, and it's like I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, obviously with like LeBron, he's big in himself and he's not even a 5, so it's like you have to go against AD, all those big guys. So, I mean, yeah, they do it. I don't know how they do it, but they do it well. And it's crazy to just sit there and watch, because it's so many doubters, so many things going through your mind. Like, this isn't going to work. They're crazy for getting rid of all of their, true bigs. And then when they move PJ to 5, he's never really played a 5, so he had to step his game up. I think it's just, again, like it goes back to like all the pieces finally like working out.
Right. I saw Westbrook say something. He said that we know we're small, so it's a collective team effort to get rebounds now because we're
It
nowhere
is.
to get
It
out
has to
rebounded
be.
every game with bigs. So he said that, Tucker's bought in. Even the new acquisitions like Covington is bought in. People like
Oh yeah.
Daniel House is bought in, going towards the basket and getting those rebounds. Whether they shoot a three, they go and try to follow their shot. So Westbrook's talk about that too. So I think that's one of the edges that they have, being able to be small, but also being able to be agile and fast enough to go and attack the board. So that might be a thing that's good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Rockets, since everything that's going on, they got rid of their bigs, what's a small ball, have Russ now. I think they really had to embody like teamwork, everybody working for one vision. That's why I'm really happy. Like their, like, I guess, I don't know, motto, whatever this year is like one mission. And I think they really embodied that as a team. So now, like, instead of it just being Russ and, James, who you would probably assume to take, control of the game, it's everybody. It's like a whole team effort finally. So, yeah, they definitely had to embody that.
I think they do have an advantage on the offensive end because if you get a switch, and we've seen this all the time, see, like, what – and James Harden is so cerebral for a guard. I've always said he's one of the smartest players I know. He'll call a switch and put Tucker to put the pick and get a big on him. And you get Gobert on Westbrook or Gobert on a Harden, and then they start dancing. And I think that's the advantage that they have going small, because you get a switch and you have Gobert on Russell Westbrook. Obviously,
Right.
everyone knows that's a mismatch. And you don't want to dance with Harden, or he's going to step back and shoot a three. So I think that's the advantage that they have, and in the speed that they use for their tempo on the offense, up and down the floor. I think that's an advantage that they definitely have too.
Yeah, I definitely am so, blessed to be working for the Rockets this year because, of course, I mean, it's no prediction who's going to, win the championships, but just being part of this team and seeing all the little pieces come together. I mean, even if you're not a Rockets fan, you can't knock, like, how creative it is just to watch them play these days.
Right. I would agree too. So it's going to be fun to watch, especially the season coming back in. They got 8 games left to finish out. We'll see how seeding is, because the Western Conference is crazy. I know you're all Texas everything. Talk about the Cowboys. Dak Prescott. I kind of consider him this year's a poor man's Baker Mayfield. Not in a sense of like he don't got game, because we know Baker got game. But
right,
Baker got to the Browns, he got all cocky, and he's been like that since Oklahoma, like all cocky and everything.
Right.
I see this with Dak. He got career numbers all across the board last year. Completion percentage.
The fact that Dak hasn't
money.
Right. It's like so crazy, and it's like I love Dak. I love, the Dak and the Zeke combo. But right now I feel like he's almost disrespecting people because, I mean, I'm even a Cowboys fan, and I wouldn't say he's the best player to get, the highest paid ever in NFL. Like, that's kind of disrespectful on my end. And I understand what he's doing. The Cowboys essentially, like, need him. But the fact that they haven't come to an agreement, and who do they just traded somebody, another quarterback. I forgot his name. Like, I'm drawing a blank.
Just got Andy Dalton backup.
Yes. I feel like at this point, like, we could be good with Dalton. Like, goodness, because he's asking for so much money, and that's going to affect so much. That's going to affect future, draft, like who they get on, like, draft picks. So it's like right now, Dak, we love you, but I think Dalton can carry his own as well.
Yeah, and the thing with Dalton is he could play. It's just that he's been a bad team all these years, and he never won anything in the playoffs. But it's a dicey situation because Jerry Jones, he's a headache himself.
God, I hate
he's a headache himself. So Dak has leverage right now. Actually, he doesn't, because they actually just acquired Danny Dalton. But he wants all this money, and I get it. He deserves it. But you're like a middle of the pack quarterback, maybe top 15, top 20. You're asking for top 5, top tier money.
Exactly.
I don't think that equates to each other. So, and you're right. You got the defense to pay. You've got Zeke that you already paid. But like CeeDee Lamb came and who I'm very high on. You're gonna have to
Yes.
pay him soon. Amari got his money, so I think Dak is in a sticky situation. But 35 million and you rejecting? Did you hear he said that 35 million isn't enough to support his family? I thought that
I
was
saw that. I was like, there's no way this can be true. Like, at this point, he's just putting an image of, like, arrogant, like, I don't know if I could cuss on here. Sorry. A-hole. It's like, why are you doing this? Because now you're proving to us that you're really just for you. Because at this point, if you're asking for all that money and you still don't take it, so you want more, now that's affecting your team. That's affecting, like, the Dallas Cowboys franchise, you know? So it's like, who are you really here for? Are you here for yourself, or are you a team player? Because now it's starting to look like you're just, like, for yourself, really.
right.
I'm honestly, I love Dak. I love the Cowboys. You know this. But at this point, I have lost so much respect for Dak. And I understand he's trying to get his money, but he's not the best NFL quarterback right now. So he shouldn't get the money like as if he was.
Right.
That's just.
And I still think 35 million is a stretch. Like, I would have gave him like 30 max.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's asking 40 to 45. That's Patrick Mahomes' money. Like,
Exactly.
It's not worth that, you know? So it's going to be interesting. I think he's going to get the franchise. I think they're just going to franchise him this year. He's going to bet on himself. But the Cowboys have more problems than just his contracts. I think they need to try to win some playoff games and try to make a Super Bowl run.
Right.
Dak need to humble himself, come down to earth, know that you're a maybe top 15 quarterback, bet on yourself this year. Then if you do good next year, try to see if you can get your money. I think he just needs to cooperate.
Yeah, he definitely needs to humble himself. Like, there's other things going on. Y'all don't even make it to playoffs. Like, y'all have not won a championship since the year that I was born. Like, y'all need to hurry it up. Y'all need to worry about the real things here.
Right.
But whatever. I mean, it is their, livelihood, their money. So I get that, like, that's what he lives off of. But goodness.
Right.
He needs to humble himself.
Yeah, he does. He does. And again, Jerry Jones is another one too. Like, the media, the paparazzi, they just can't stay away from that. But that's going to be interesting there for sure. What you've been watching, bench watching so far throughout quarantine?
Like shows?
Yeah.
It's so funny, and I got put onto it so late. But this show called Jane the Virgin. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of Jane the Virgin, yeah.
Oh, my God. I've heard of it, but I never – it just didn't seem interesting to me. So my sister one day, she was like, well, come, just watch it with me. I was like, I really don't want to, but I had nothing else to do. So I was like, okay, whatever. What? It is so interesting, and it's so cute, just their relationship. I love it. And, there's so many twists and turns. Whoever wrote Jane the Virgin, I don't know who it is, but they should have multiple awards for this show. It's so many, twists and turns and, scandals, one after another after another. It's like that. They don't stop. I love it. It's just so interesting. What about you?
I gotta check it out. It pops up on my Netflix list, but I'm not really into it. My style is, I like a good, drama, action. Suspense. That's my type, but or mystery stuff. But I gotta check it out. I gotta check it out.
Well, I used to watch a lot of documentaries, like murder documentaries, or just any documentary. I used to love them, but everybody, my mom, my sister, they would be like, that's bad energy. You sit here all day and watch just nothing but bad energy stuff, killer murders and stuff like that. That's what's interesting to me. But I guess right now I took a little hiatus from the murders.
I gotta check Jane the Virgin out.
You do?
Yeah, I just finished Ozarks, and I finished this show on Hulu. It's called For Life. It's by 50 Cent. 50 Cent was the producer for it. So.
Oh yeah. Did you ever watch Power?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished that.
I started watching Power, and then one
Anything
night.
50 make is good. Anything 50 make is good. That's how I feel. Like the hat says, 50's the real OG. Anything 50 make, you already know is popping. Yeah,
I need to finish that one.
Yeah, it gets good. What season you're on?
The first, I never went back to. I know. I was gonna say, because I started it and I was like, "Whoa, this is interesting." But the person that I am, like, I have to go to sleep with background noise, so I always leave my TV on. So one night I just fell asleep, and then I woke up the next morning and it was like still. Oh no, it wasn't still going. But like I had slept through so many episodes, and I was like, "Damn!" I don't know which one I was even on to go back to. So I guess I just got lazy.
It's good. It's good. I definitely recommend it. You gotta get through all 6 seasons. Hopefully, I don't think they're gonna make it or continue it, but it's one of the best produced shows like of recent memories.
You know which one's really good? Have you ever seen Luther?
Luther, no, I haven't seen Luther.
Idris Elba. It's so good.
I gotta check it out. It's on Netflix.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Hulu maybe. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't watched it in so long.
Luther. All right, I'm gonna check it out. Favorite quarantine snack? What you been munching on? I know for me, I'm always in the gym, fit, but I've been gaining like 15 pounds throughout quarantine, especially with these gummy worms. I love gummy worms and like gummy.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been eating that and then ordering pizza like twice a week. So I just been.
Yeah. I love pizza. I haven't ordered pizza in so long. I think I might do that tonight. That's a good idea. Snacks, I don't know. I really don't like to keep snacks in my house because I know if I do, like, that's all I'll sit there and eat all day. Right. So, and then gummy bears. Gummy bears are my favorite. But recently, I know I could tell I have a cavity coming in, so I stopped eating them because I don't want to go to the dentist right now during all of this. So I had to take a break. But I would say, yeah, gummy bears. They're my favorite.
Right. At least I did better today. I had, pizza not good, but
leftover.
I had apples and a PBJ. So I'm getting better.
I could go for a good PBJ.
Favorite song or track that you got right now that's on replay, or maybe album?
I don't know. I switch around so much. I really don't have a favorite song right now, but I think since all of this has been going on, J. Cole is my favorite artist. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So I think he was shown at the protest in North Carolina, I believe, right?
Yep.
So he was shown so I think Complex or somebody posted it, so I posted it back on my story. And there's this song, Let Nas Down. I don't know if
that's an old one. I have that on replay too sometimes. Yeah.
Right. So there's a quote in there, or like he says, just a man of the people, not above, but equal. And for the greater good, I walk amongst the evil. And I just love J. Cole because it's like, he's such a real man. He's so down to earth, and he's so like I don't want to say like woke because I don't like that word, but he like really is. And it's like that album is so old. And years ago he said those words. And today, he's out there really protesting, being a man of the people, and really walking amongst the evil for the greater good. So really, I don't know if that like sparked it, but I've just been listening to like all J. Cole's like old albums on replay.
Yeah, the thing with J. Cole is he's my favorite artist too. That's what got me through high school. Force Hill, all his old stuff, Born Sinner, all his good stuff back in the days. But with him, he was born out of country, but he grew up in North Carolina. So he grew up in the 90s and he idolized Nas. So Nas was like his guy growing up. So when he was young, I think there's a documentary about it, but he used to listen to Nas lyrics and then used to write them down on his wall, writing down on paper and pasting on his wall. So like when he got a chance to meet Nas, that's how they collab and they made Don't Let Nas Down. So it's a background story to it. So
yeah, that's so crazy. And he says, like he used to do that and like put them on the wall, and his friends would be like, why do you have these words on the wall? And he's like, no, like those are like pictures to me. Like that's what I see. And I love that because it's like, as an artist, it's like sometimes you'll do something and it'll be so beautiful to you, but nobody else will get it. But he doesn't care. Like, I don't care if you think those are words. Like I see them as pictures. So, that's how I'm going to do. I'm going to leave them up there. And I feel like as an artist, like, cause I like to paint, so it's like, as an artist, you see something different from somebody else and they might not always see it, but to you, it'll always, mean something. And I love it. I just love his words. So yeah, I've just been listening to him on repeat.
Yeah, he's definitely an inspiration for sure. And definitely being able to be a leader with his music or outside his music, being an advocate for this too. That's it up for us. It's a pleasure having you on the Sebypodcast show. We'd love to have you again. Season 3 is coming up mid-July. Now we got basketball finally. So we'd love to have you on our podcast. But it was a pleasure having you as one of the constituents and correspondents of the Rockets and enlighten us with Rockets ball.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I definitely want to be hearing from y'all again. It was an honor. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.